Hey guys, in this video, I'm gonna break down my Nasdaq outlook for the week and also go through some of the trades that I posted last week and my understanding of what I was like looking for and how it played out, right? So for this week outlook, obviously I'm gonna do top down. I'm gonna start from the higher time frame. I'm gonna start from the weekly perspective and then go to the lower time frame, daily, 4 hour, and probably also the 1 hour, because I don't usually do an outlook of the lowest time frames like the 15 minutes or the 30 minutes because I wait for price to form a bit on a Monday. I try to see what price is gonna do like before New York open. Then that's when I look at the lower time frames for like entries and the like, right? But for now I'm gonna start with the weekly. So with the weekly outlook, I've got a couple of limited things that I look for, right? These are the 5 things that I look for on a weekly perspective, right? I look for a balance that has been left, and I look for liquidity that price might be interested in, and then I also look for blocks, and then I also try to understand structure, like what kind of a trend are we in? Are we in an uptrend or downtrend? And then also try to see whether we are overbought or oversold, right? So these are the confluences that I try to look for on a weekly perspective. So at this point, as you can see, we had this change of character right here, where we saw price, right, break past this high, right? It took out this high, and this indicated that we're in an uptrend. And then from there, we had price form, right? We got price form this swing right here. So we had price form this swing right here between these points, from this point B and point A, right? So we got this swing right here, and yeah, so these are my 2 points of interest to confirm whether price is gonna continue to the upside. Because what I was expecting here is we had a push to the downside, right? And then price changes structure. I was expecting a pullback and then a push to the upside. Price pulls back again and then breaks structure, right? So I was expecting a break to the upside. So that's what I was currently expecting. But I wouldn't say that we're gonna do that, right? Because despite this massive bearish momentum that we had to the downside, we're still not oversold, right? So I tried to look at price being oversold first of all, like it was up here, right? So as you can see, price was in an oversold level right there, and I'll just look for an imbalance above here, and price just reacted and pushed to the downside. So in this case, I'll look for price to be oversold, despite it below the 50 mark, the 40 mark, right? Because I also look at the 40 mark. So despite it being the 40 mark, I'll be so confident if price was overbought instead, and then I'll be expecting a massive reversal to the upside. Because as you can see, every time the price is oversold, I use confluence. I use it as a conditioning, right? So at this point, as you can see, we were oversold, right? Hence with this massive reversal to the upside, and then we are in. So I use this for conditioning. It's not really a lagging indicator because it just takes its time, right? And price takes its time to be saturated. So I wait for price to be saturated enough, and then I try to look for reversals. But at this moment, right, I've got 2 points of interest that I'm looking for. I've got 2 points of interest between the week, which is this point right here and this point here, because now here we are getting like kind of a reversal formation happening, despite this one trap right here, right, where price took out last week's high and didn't take out, last week's low, and didn't take out the previous week's high, right? So what I usually look for, I look for continuations by price taking out the previous week's high and low, right? So for instance, let's say during this week, right, where we had a bullish push to the downside, we see this formation where price was formed, right? It formed an inside bar between the previous week, and then when price break plus structure here, right, it broke to the upside, and then the previous week structure was also broken to the upside, right? And then the previous structure was also broken to the upside. The previous structure was also broken to the upside. So I also look at previous weekly highs and lows to determine continuation. So at this point, with this break to the downside, even though it's not a proper break, right? It's a week-to-week break, and for those people that don't understand breakout structures, you can just actually go to the free course. There's a video there where I explain the types of breakout structures and what you want to see to be a proper breakout structure and consider it. So in this case, I wouldn't consider this as a proper breakout structure. This is more like a manipulation. But what I would like to see to continue with this new formation of bullishness that we're getting in the market is price breaking structure, opening up and breaking structure to the upside. Right? So if price can break through the structure to the upside, I'll be more confident, right, that we're actually in a bullish structure right now. So there are a couple of reasons, obviously, that I want to put together in terms of why price should go to the upside, right? So there's some imbalance that has been left behind, which is this right here, right? So we've got some good imbalance that has been left that price needs to mitigate. And yeah, and then so I look at imbalance. So imbalance is the first reason, that first confluence for price to go to the upside. And then also sorry for that, we've got also some imbalance formation right here. So this imbalance is further away, so it's not something that I'll be interested in. It's quite further away from where structure is, but this right here down here is what I'm interested in. Is something that's most likely to be mitigated as an imbalance. So price, I'm looking for price to get there, right? And then yeah, take out this liquidity high at this point. So I've got liquidity for me, I've got the liquidity confluence, I've got imbalance confluence, and then yeah, I also try to go on the lower, on a lower time frame in terms of another, like I'll go on a daily time frame to try to check for blocks and check for other structure breaks, right? So at the moment we've got imbalance and we've got liquidity points, right, that we're interested in, which is up here for price to take out this liquidity high, and yeah, and so I'm gonna go on a daily time frame, try to find more confluence, right? So when I go on a daily time frame, it's kind of a bit more clear, right? It's clearer. So once I go on a daily, I've got this block that I'm interested in right there, right? This is a very good block where we might see a potential reach for price to come and mitigate, right? Plus we got a bit more we got a bit more imbalance up here that price might be interested in also. So this right here is more reasons to why price needs to go up, right? So we had a bit of liquidity highs that were taken out on a daily, which is amazing, which is what we want to see. So we got these liquidity highs taken out. We got price heading towards this imbalance to fill up the imbalance and then possibly continue to the downside, or we can just see price push to the upside. But for now, for this coming week, I am bullish, right? I'm anticipating the market to be more bullish, then fill up the imbalances up here, right? So yeah, so that's my daily outlook. That's my higher time frame outlook. I make sure I understand my daily and my weekly outlook, because it gives me my view for the week, right? So I need to have like a weekly biasness that's fixed, right? And then also one thing that I just outlooked in my analysis is this imbalance that was formed by the recent candle, right? So this imbalance right here is something that we have to see to be mitigated. It's our price reimbalance this thing by coming to fill up this thing and then continue up there, right? So we might kind of see this kind of structure formation where we see price comes and form the weekly low, right, and then goes for the weekly high, and then it closes something like that. So this is what we might be looking for. So this is kind of like my weekly biasness, right? Fill up the imbalance, possibly go into the order block and choose the downside. Yeah, and as you can see on a daily, what I like is that price was oversold, right? As you can see on the price was oversold on the daily, so we had a reason to push back to the upside. So with this overbought and oversold, I just use it on the higher time frame. I don't usually use it on the lower time frame, right? And my higher time frame is composed of daily, weekly, and 4 hour, right? So 4 hour, daily, and weekly, I'm definitely bullish. As you can see, I need price to be overbought before I eventually start looking for sales, right? So yeah, so from the past week, I was very much bullish, right? I was very much bullish, but I did something stupid where I overlooked my weekly biasness, and then at the end of the week, I was like, look, I was anticipating sales, right? Even though I got some mini sell movements, it was a psychological problem, right? So I'm gonna cover that kind of psychological jump that you have, right, where you miss the picture and how you can get back like your sense. So yeah, so this is my outlook on a daily, and now I'm gonna go on the 4 hour to give you guys a proper breakdown and just to show you more confluence, right? So with the previous week, this was my setup for the previous week, right? So first of all, I draw this liquidity high lows that was that I knew the price might come to grab, that were protected, right? So we see this protected liquidity lows that price eventually came for and broke past these levels, and then this was going down. As you can see, started to lose momentum, right? Once you see this formation, right, you see this kind of fractal formation where we see price fluctuating, right, forming this kind of channel like situation. We see that this is this is a liquidity forming right here, right? And hence I identify these levels here as liquidity points that price might be interested in. And yeah, I was anticipating a reversal. This is the block that I was looking for, the demand zone, and price started to form this divergence here, and I was like so certain that we're gonna push to the upside, right? So and price just eventually pushed to the upside, change character here, put back into this imbalance, and then it just continued with the trend, right? Then just continue with the trend from there, which is amazing, right? So as you can see, we've displaced, price has been displaced to the upside. So right, we'll definitely anticipate a bit of a pullback, a proper pullback between these levels, right? So this is the level that I'll be interested in right here. So I'll be interested in this level right here, this level right here, and this level right here. So let me just try to reduce the size of these things. All right, yeah. So these are the levels that I'll be looking for. As you can see, most of the prices here was reimbalanced, right? The price was like, we don't have any inefficiency or imbalance in this area. So the only imbalance that we have is this one right here, right? So this is the only imbalance that we have. So I'll be looking for price to pull back probably at 50%, right? At equilibrium right here, before we eventually push to the downside. Though we'll get a block right there that we might be interested in. Yeah, but I'll be looking at price coming to probably mitigate this imbalance and then continue to the upside, or if not, just a mini pullback that we might have right to this order block and then continue to the upside to mitigate these massive imbalances that we have up here, right? So these are the things that I'll be looking for. Obviously, the buy side and sell side liquidity, the imbalance, the daily highs and the daily lows of the previous days to see whether they've been broken or not, and then also identify my supply and demand zones, and then last but not the least, my divergency for the week. But yeah, just to go through the biasness, the analysis, right? Currently, we're overbought, definitely expecting a pullback from here, right? Definitely expecting a pullback from here, because another confluence that we have, the more reason why we should expect a pullback is because of this block right here. So we might expect a pullback, mitigating this, and then price continuing to fill up the imbalance above these highs, right? So yeah, these are the two weak points that I'm looking for: the swing low and the swing high. Price coming into this level and then pulling back, and then continue with the trend to the upside. Yeah, so this is my outlook. My outlook is that we are bullish for the week, but I'll be anticipating price to form a weekly low, by coming down around this zone here and then continue to the upside, right? So yeah, guys, that's my outlook. That's my outlook for Nasdaq on a weekly time frame. And now I'm just gonna go through a couple of things, right? I'm gonna go through a couple of setups that I set for the week. So initially on the 5th, which was on the Monday of the previous week, this was what I was looking for. I sent to you guys this my potential pullback on the higher time frame for price continue to the downside because of this liquidity that was forming here. So I identified this block on a daily time frame. Price was getting here, daily block holding, price is oversold, expecting price to come and grab this buy side liquidity up here, fill up the balance, and then continue to the downside, right? And then and yeah, this was my lower time. No, this was USDJPY. Yeah, and then from there I set my lower time frame outlook for Nasdaq. Though on the Monday we had a holiday in the United States, so it was slow. Yeah, so this was my outlook here, expecting price to just come and fill up the imbalance. But before it did that, it manipulated to the downside, forming a weekly low, and then it just goes up. Yeah, so this is this was, we didn't trade so much Nasdaq on the Monday. I think we traded more USDJPY, right? So USDJPY set up this setup and then just butchered us, like we went straight into reds. And I sent this so that I can show you guys that we're not gonna win all the time, right? And get used to the losses, because most of you are frightened by losses. Once you see losses, you run away. You just want to see blues all the time. Hence, most of you succumb to being scammed, because you just want to see the good part. You don't understand that this is a probability game. It's a game where you're gonna have wins. It's a game where you're gonna have losses, guys. So you have to get used to seeing the red, right? Get used to seeing the red. Once you get used to seeing the red, the fear just flashes out, right? Because most of the people, once they see the red, they start panicking. They think, should I close? Should I throw stop? Should I move the stop wider? Should I do this? Should I add more positions? All that is wrong way of looking at the market, right? Once you see red, be confident that price hits my stop loss. That's predetermined and I'm okay with it. So yeah, I sent this setup just to make sure that, because I don't usually send the losses. Just say, guys, stop loss has been hit, but I send this to strengthen and just to show you guys that I also lose, because I was on a 2 weeks winning streak with Nasdaq, right? So yeah, guys, hopefully this helped you work on your psychology. Be confident that I also lose. Everybody does lose, right? Everybody does lose. Everybody goes on a drawdown, actually, not just lose once. Everybody goes on a drawdown, right? So yeah, this was my outlook for Nasdaq. We had this manipulation to the downside, anticipating price to come here, push to the upside, and yeah, price came to the downside. Oh yeah, no, those are not those USD. Yeah, USD. This is, I think, yeah. So after having the loss, the USD JPY loss, I decided to jump on Euro USD. I saw this amazing setup, proper setup that I was looking for. London manipulation, price swings to the upside, displaces price up here, breaks some significant structures, pulls back, and then voila, push it to the upside. Yeah, and then I send the profits. And yeah, we made a lot of money. USD JPY decided to push in our direction, and it just went into massive profits for the week. Yeah, I think we made about 4K on these two setups, right? So this was the USD JPY trade. As you can see, price took us out. I waited for another thin here, right? And then we have this thin, and I also send my structure thin, my structure pattern. So yeah, I hope that's really helpful. And then Euro USD just pushed to the upside massively, taking out the liquidity highs there, and made about 4K on both trades, which was amazing, and it just kept on pushing upside, right? And then Nasdaq was still dead. This was yeah, Nasdaq was still dead for the day. So I was like, guys, Nasdaq was dead today because of the holiday, all that stuff. And then Tuesday we had a lot of openings. Nasdaq came to the upside here, you know, anticipating pushing to the upside and all that stuff. So this was a good outlook. And yeah, and then I sent another setup on Euro USD, right? So let me just focus on Nasdaq. Let me just try to focus on Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, I was expecting buys from there. As you can see, price respected the setup. So these were the two setups. So whenever I send an analysis, guys, I include my points of interest. So always just look at my point of interest. Sometimes I'm not gonna be there to say, guys, price is now reached our point of interest. But I figure if I send you, right, say, guys, I'm expecting price to push from here or down here, right? I expect you guys to be looking out for it. If it means setting an alert, set an alert, right? Set an alert for these areas so that when price gets here, the market, the app notifies you, and then you can take your trade depending on how price gets to that level. Yeah, so I was expecting buys, and it just pushed to the upside from there. Yeah, so from here, as you can see, price was pushed to the upside, taking out the Asian highs, and we're deep profits. We made about 4K in the morning, because this was 9. Yeah, this was 9. I made about 4K, and it was so amazing to start a day like that, right? And then from here, I was looking for a bit of a push to the downside, because we had this imbalance left here on Nasdaq. And then price, I was anticipating this formation pattern, which I remember on this day it didn't play as anticipated. Yeah, and then the USD pattern that I sent out also, like, this was a good pattern. I sent it out, worked as anticipated. So yeah, guys, basically in the most part of the week, we are very successful. Like for 3 days, I think, or like on a winning streak for 3 days. Monday, no, not Monday, because Monday we didn't trade Nasdaq, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, right? Friday, I think we had a bad ending on Nasdaq. But yeah, overall we performed amazing. As you can see, the setup, price respects this and just shows to the downside. And yeah, expecting a continuation from here, price to come and tap this, and then just shows down. And I was like in 3K profits, because we had a push, we had a pullback, right? A quick pullback. This was anticipation right here, but this pullback where price comes here, taps into this block, and then shoots down, right? So yeah, we performed very well. And yeah, this was the reversal pattern that I was anticipating on Nasdaq, saying, guys, I'm still bullish in the market, and this is the reason why. So yeah, guys, that's the overall performance. I'm not gonna go all the way to Friday, right? I'm not gonna go all the way to Friday. Make sure you do go on the group, try to go through how we've been performing, try to go and see how I build my confluence. And then if you want to communicate, discuss different patterns and how I look at the market, make sure you join our Discord group. It's right in the link. And yeah, make sure you do subscribe, comment, like, share the videos and all those good stuff. And yeah, more videos will be uploaded on how I look at the market. And hopefully you guys are really learning something from this content that I'm dropping. And if you're doing that, let me know. And if you're interested in some form of mentorship, you can also just reach out to me on Discord, right? You can reach out to me on Discord, or you can reach out to me on my Telegram thing. On my Telegram inbox, I included the my light on the group. But yeah, this is all for my Nasdaq outlook for the week. I'm bullish, and those are my confluences, the reason why. And yeah, with the lower time frame, obviously I'm gonna update the group depending on how price develops during the Asian session, and I'm gonna send you guys entry setup in London. All right, guys, cheers.